Imagine waking up to a morning that feels entirely ordinary. Birds chirp, coffee brews, cars hum along familiar streets, and the sun rises over the skyline of your city. But at 8:17 a.m., everything you know collapses in an instant. A blinding flash erupts on the horizon, searing eyes, skin, and memory alike. It is not just a light. It is an annihilation, a violent, incandescent wave that ripples faster than sound. Windows shatter before the air carries the roar. Concrete cracks, glass cuts, cars flip, and for the first seconds, the world is a hallucination of fire and chaos. At first, confusion overwhelms. People freeze, staring at the sky, unable to comprehend the impossible. The flash is followed by a deafening pressure wave that throws pedestrians into the street, flips vehicles, and topples buildings. The immediate zone, the epicenter of destruction, is gone, incinerated, nothing more than heat and dust. In the streets, just beyond, fires rage uncontrollably, igniting vehicles, trees, and homes. Smoke rises in dark, choking clouds that blot out the sun. Phones, televisions, and radios overload with static and crackling interference. Emergency systems flicker before shutting down entirely. Communications that once tethered the city to the outside world die in the heat and shock. People attempt to call loved ones, but networks collapse under the unprecedented demand and the electromagnetic pulse emitted by the blast. Instantaneously, a modern city with all its conveniences, the lights, the internet, the transportation systems, becomes a silent, fragile skeleton. The first hour is a blur of instinct. People run, stumble, and shield themselves from falling debris. Drivers abandon cars on streets warped by the blast. Pedestrians sprint through the haze, coughing on smoke and ash, searching for any sign of safety. Hospitals that survive the immediate destruction activate emergency protocols, but staff are overwhelmed. Patients are burned, injured, or trapped beneath rubble. Ambulances struggle to navigate streets blocked by wreckage. In these first minutes, panic mixes with primal survival instinct. Mothers clutch children. Strangers drag one another from burning wreckage. The line between heroism and terror blurs. By the second hour, the magnitude of loss becomes undeniable. Power grids, already fragile, fail completely. Traffic lights are dead. Subways and trains stall mid-route. Passengers trapped in pitch-black tunnels. Grocery stores, banks, gas stations, once mundane symbols of modern life, are either obliterated or inaccessible. People pour into streets, not knowing where to go or what to do. Smoke clouds obscure landmarks. Ash coats windows, cars, and clothes, giving the city the appearance of a place lost in time. Communication remains almost entirely severed. Cell towers are offline, radios are erratic, and emergency services struggle to coordinate. Families scatter, searching for one another, unable to verify safety. Hospitals rely on backup generators, but fuel is finite. Water treatment systems falter. Clean water becomes scarce as pipes rupture or pumps fail. Fires spread unchecked because hydrants are destroyed or water pressure has collapsed. The city's infrastructure, the thing that makes daily life manageable, is now a tangle of broken systems and desperate improvisation. By hour 3, social behavior begins to change. Fear drives people into stores, only to find shelves destroyed or inaccessible. Looting begins in pockets, but not out of malice, out of sheer necessity. The desperate try to claim water, food, and medical supplies before they run out. Simultaneously, neighbors check on one another, forming small, impromptu alliances to rescue trapped families, douse fires, and clear debris. It is a strange duality, humanity's worst and best instincts revealed simultaneously. The fourth hour introduces a grim reality: radiation. Those who witnessed the initial flash may already be experiencing exposure. Symptoms are subtle at first: nausea, dizziness, a burning sensation on the skin, but the invisible threat spreads beyond immediate sight. People moving through streets avoid areas still smoking, unsure if they are safe. Emergency responders, though brave, often lack the protective equipment to enter these zones safely. The city's medical response is stretched beyond reason. By hour 5, survivors confront the first taste of logistical collapse. Gasoline is unavailable. Vehicles that survive the blast cannot be fueled. Food supplies dwindle rapidly, and attempts to organize distribution are nearly impossible. Hospitals ration what little remains. Doctors must triage patients based on severity, improvising treatment as medical records are destroyed and supplies run low. Power outages mean refrigeration for medicine is uncertain. Insulin, antibiotics, and other life-sustaining drugs are already becoming scarce. 6 hours in, the psychological weight begins to settle. Shock gives way to a creeping realization. Life, as it was, will not return soon, if ever. Families huddle in basements, apartments, or parks, trying to remain calm as they assess injuries, dehydration, and exposure. Children cry for parents who are missing or injured. Adults struggle to remain composed, masking terror for the sake of the young. Rumors spread rapidly. Where is the government? Is it just this city or the country? The lack of verified information fuels panic almost as much as the destruction itself. By hour 7, the first organized attempts at survival emerge. Survivors form small groups, assigning roles, scouting for water, salvaging supplies, tending the injured. Community leaders are not elected. They're the most knowledgeable, the bravest, or simply the most vocal. Makeshift shelters appear in less damaged structures, and the first triage centers are set up in schools or community buildings. In the face of unimaginable loss, human ingenuity begins to shine. Hour 8 reveals a new danger: contamination. Fires have released toxic fumes. Radiation spreads invisibly. Water sources are compromised as infrastructure fails. People improvise filters using cloth and sand, and some recall old knowledge of boiling water or creating basic radiation shelters. The tools of modern life, the internet, GPS, and digital communications, are gone. Survivors must rely on observation, memory, and common sense to navigate a city transformed into a wasteland. Hour 9 brings the first confrontation with scarcity-driven conflict. Groups clash over water, medicine, or access to shelter. Yet these incidents are limited. Fear, exhaustion, and the presence of empathetic leadership often prevent widespread chaos. Instead, cooperation begins to appear as a strategy for survival. Small pockets of organization emerge, balancing trust and caution in a world where both are fragile commodities. By hour 10, the city is unrecognizable. Smoke and ash hang heavy in the air. Fires burn unchecked. Streets are littered with abandoned vehicles, broken glass, and debris. Human figures move cautiously among the ruins, guided by instinct and necessity. The initial adrenaline surge fades, replaced by exhaustion, dehydration, and grief. Survivors begin to understand the enormity of their predicament. Hour 11 emphasizes the fragility of modern life. Hospitals, stores, and utility systems cannot function. Generators falter. Water is precious. Food is limited. Communication is nearly non-existent. Those who are reliant on technology for navigation, coordination, or information are suddenly vulnerable. Survival requires more than resources. It requires adaptability, courage, and the ability to work with others in a systemless world. By hour 12, a grim calm settles over the city. Immediate chaos has subsided, replaced by the laborious rhythm of survival. Fires burn, smoke drifts, and distant explosions or collapsing structures serve as constant reminders of the fragility of the urban environment. Small groups move carefully, scavenging, tending to the injured, and consolidating resources. Communities that form now are the foundation for what may come next, an extended struggle for survival in a city forever changed. And yet, in this darkness, humanity persists. Even amid devastation, People adapt, improvise, and rebuild in small ways. The first 12 hours are a lesson. Survival is not just about preparation, but about resilience, quick thinking, and the courage to help others even when everything familiar has been destroyed. The city is no longer just a place of concrete and steel. It is a crucible for human endurance, ingenuity, and hope. The first 12 hours are only the beginning. Beyond this point, the fight for survival intensifies. Resources dwindle further, injuries worsen, and the psychological strain deepens. But those who endure these initial hours, who form connections, and who adapt to a world without the systems they once depended on, begin to write the first chapter of life after annihilation, a chapter defined not by despair, but by the unwavering human spirit.